Time now for the Peter Channel 11 o'clock news. It is late Tuesday night, March 1st, 2016. Good evening, everybody. I am Peter Wiggins. I am then at 11 o'clock news and our top story at 11 o'clock is Super Tuesday 2016. As we take a look at Massachusetts, where Donald Trump has won the Bay State very easily with 48.6% of the votes won. John Kasich at 18.4% and Marco Rubio at 18.1%. While the Democratic race, it's too close to call. Hillary Clinton with 50.8% of the votes. Bernie Sanders at 48.0% of the votes. In Minnesota, Marco Rubio at 37.3%, 20.0% Ted Cruz, and 21.1% of Donald Trump. And in the Democrat side, Hillary Clinton 59.3% of the votes, while Bernie Sanders at 40.6% of the votes. And in Minnesota, well, for the Republican and Democrat caucuses, it is too close to call. Down in Texas, where Ted Cruz, winner with 41.8% of votes, 27.8% votes for Donald Trump, and 17.8% for the votes for Marco Rubio. While Hillary Clinton at 67.4% of the votes, Bernie Sanders 30.7% of the votes, says Hillary Clinton wins Texas easily. In Oklahoma, Ted Cruz, winner in Oklahoma with a 34.4% votes over the Donald Trump's 24%, and Marco Rubio's 26.0% of the votes. While in Oklahoma, Bernie Sanders, winner with 51.9% of the votes, while Hillary Clinton's 41.5% of the votes. Colorado Democrat caucus, it's too close to call, with Hillary Clinton with 57.3% of the votes to Bernie Sanders 41.4% of votes. In Virginia, Donald Trump, winner ekes out Virginia like cutting a Virginia country ham as he ekes out a win over Marco Rubio with 34.8% of Trump's votes to Marco Rubio's 31.9% of votes, while Ted Cruz at 16.9% of votes. While Hillary Clinton wins in a landslide, 64.3% of the votes to Bernie Sanders, 35.2% of the votes. Down in Georgia, Donald Trump has won 39.7% of the votes to Ted Cruz 23.8% of votes and Marco Rubio 23.5% of the votes. Hillary Clinton, winner of the Democrat side for the Georgia with 71.3% of the votes to Bernie Sanders 28.2% of the votes. Alabama, Donald Trump's winner in the Republican side with 44.1% of the votes to Ted Cruz 20.7% of the votes, Marco Rubio 18.2% of the votes. While on the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton a landslide over Bernie Sanders in Alabama, 78.6% of Clinton's votes to 8.5% of the Bernie Sanders votes. Down in Tennessee, where Donald Trump is winner in the Republican with 40.2% of the votes to Ted Cruz 24.2% of the votes to Marco Rubio's 20.4% of the votes. And Hillary Clinton, winner in the Democrat side with 66.6% of the votes to Bernie Sanders 31.9% of the votes. Arkansas, Donald Trump, winner at 34.4% of the votes to Ted Cruz 29.4% of the votes and Marco Rubio's 24.3%, and the Republican race in Arkansas is too close to call. And Hillary Clinton easily won her home state of Arkansas with 68.1% of the votes to Bernie Sanders, 27.9% of the votes. And down in Vermont, too close to call on the Republican side between Donald Trump with 32.2% of the votes to Marco Rubio's 19.6% of votes, while John Kasich got 30.7% of the votes. While on the Democrat side, Bernie Sanders won his home state of Vermont easily, 86.3% of the votes to Hillary Clinton's 13.4% of votes. We'll more of that on Super Tuesday coming up on the Peter Channel. First thing in the morning, then throughout the night. Other news. So New Jersey Governor Chris Christie set off from his regular duties in Garden State last week with full hopes and dreams about the White House. Says Chris Christie's Donald Trump endorsement has set off from his regular duties as newspapers around the Garden State called his resignation. Donald Trump says Rubio has the right to be nasty, having a tough night. Garden State Lab studying astronaut twins Scott and Mark Kelly. Washington, the head of the API, acknowledged on Tuesday that his agency lost the chance to capture data from the iPhone used by one of the San Bernardino attackers when it ordered his password to the online storage service iCloud to be reset. Washington, Osama bin Laden bequeathed to the jihad a fortune in the estimated $29 million according to documents found in the zone that showed the Al-Qaeda leader struggling for relevance in his final years. Canberra, Australia. The order for Australian acquiring the child sex abuse suggested on Wednesday that one of Pope Francis' top advisors was lying when he denied knowledge of the criminal allegations swirling around two notorious pedophile priests. Jerusalem, a navigation mistake led to deadly firefighting in the West Bank refugee camp that left one person dead Monday night, according to Israeli authorities. Chaos France, 1 dozen humanitarian organizations on Tuesday accused 40 days of brutally evicted migrants from the makeshift dwellings in a sprawling camp in northern France as fire protests and the demolition continued. Pierre, South Dakota. The latest on a South Dakota proposal that will require transgender students to use bathrooms and locker rooms that match their sex at their births at all times as a primary sponsor of legislation is required. Montgomery, Senator Richard Shelby won the Republican nomination for the U.S. Senate Tuesday night, beating back in the president for challenges and proving that voter angst as the presidential campaign did not translate to the Senate race. Delaware and Norfolk upon an Edward's court case against National Park Service even as work crews on Tuesday, changing the names of public attractions and buildings, restaurant menus, and direction signs for Yosemite National Park. That shows that caused one woman to stay at the Debye Airport in Baltimore longer than she expected to let her craft next. Time may be approximately minutes to be done with it. In local news, Fall River jury selection is scheduled to start Thursday at the murder trial of former right-hand man of Hernandez with alleged role in 2013 slaying of the man in the North Attleboro Industrial Park. Attleboro, a woman on probation for breaking in a car on New Year's Eve and leading police in a foot chase, went up to pay restitution because there was no damage to anything actually stolen from the car. Naughton calendar options in the next 2 school years have been presented to school committee members, and one proposal is itself returned before Labor Day. Naughton students at Naughton High School will soon be required to take a year of study in the arts. Foxbury firefighters are battling a two-alarm fire at a home on South Grove Street. In the latest state news around Massachusetts, let's move on to business news, where Arby McClendon went to the Pioneers U.S. shale boom when they died by a federal grand jury Tuesday on charges like conspiring with an unnamed company to break the price of oil and gas leases in Oklahoma. The combined net worth of Mexico's billionaires dropped $44.9 billion this year from $142.9 in 2015 to $99.6 billion, around 30%, according to the 2016 Forbes billionaire list released Tuesday. Zynga's founders have stepped down but as well as chief executive officer for the second time and as Wall Street thrilled. Hong Kong Asia shares rallied to a 2-month high on Wednesday as overnight gains in oil prices and a start for positive economic data from Australia to the United States calm fears of a global economic slowdown. Fossil ancient creature resembling a ship with a normal head had contained the oldest and best preserved nervous system ever found, which could help scientists disseminate evolution in the nervous system in animals alive today, according to New. A PhD studied that stumbled across a forgotten dinosaur board at the museum tour, escaped inside not only the episode but also a paleontological and stormer's riddle. What if advanced alien civilization saw our planet across an expensive switch on the powerful radio touch to send a low neighbor? Denver, the secret virus around Colorado. The Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment has confirmed 2 Colorado cases of mosquito-borne virus. High price of the cancer medicines are the only reason any country insures a patient so much waste paid the bill. Waste pads and a study finds because it confused cancer drugs are distributed in the U.S. Whole Foods has recalled Maine Jaguar milk blue cheese cited possible as history of contamination. The company said no illnesses have been reported. A collectively recall, which is nationwide. Some people blame the sweet tooth, some blame the cat potato lifestyle. But now, something else may be blamed for its dirty health and make you fat. Your job. Take a look at New England Insults here at 11:09. In Garner, Massachusetts, a route to a mortal accident. They wake us to U.S. Mass flight. Peter Channel News time, 11:09 on this late Tuesday night, and it's time now for a travel report on this late Tuesday night. Baby, let's start you up down to the line, dear. Where it's looking good, the highways and byways of the Ocean State. Down in eastern Massachusetts, it's looking good on the highways and byways of eastern Massachusetts. I-91 in the northbound side, a little slow around the Mass Pike and Chicopee, but otherwise it's looking good in the Bay State. Down in Connecticut, I-691 on the westbound side, we have an accident here, and 691 on the westbound side ran Route 71 in Meriden, Connecticut, so expect some delays here. But otherwise, it's looking good in Connecticut. Down in New York City, FDR Drive, a little slow around the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, Brooklyn Bridge on the northbound side, a little slow, 278 on the eastbound side, a little slow around Route 478. Westbound side in the Verizon Areas Bridge is a little slow, 278 on the eastbound side, a little slow after Elizabeth, New Jersey, after the Jersey Turnpike. Grand Central Parkway accident around the Line Expressway, and another accident on ramp to 678 from Grand Central Parkway, so expect a few delays. FDR Drive on the southbound side, also from Harlem to Midtown. 95 on the southbound side, so 87 to the George Washington Bridge. 95 on the northbound side, so from Fort Lee all the way out to the George Washington Bridge. Okay, up in Albany, it's looking good, except on I-80 on the westbound side, also after the New York Thruway. 481 on the New York State Thruway, also around Route 481 in Syracuse, and all the highways in the Buffalo vicinity are slow because of the weather. Highways in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine are looking good on this late Tuesday night. As we take a look at the Buffalo area where the Thruway on the eastbound on both ends it is slow from Bloodsdale all the way out to Pembroke, New York. 290 on both ends it's slow from Cheektowaga all the way out to Route 190. 190 is slow from the Thruway down from Buffalo all the way out to Niagara Falls. And 99 on both ends it's slow from Buffalo all the way out to Pendleton. So expect a lot of delays around the Buffalo area due to the snow. Okay, look at that MBTA alerts. Subway system is looking good. On the commuter rail, looking good. And on the ferries, they are looking good. Peter Channel News Time is now 11:12. Time now for a weather report. And looking at the latest radar seen around the region, we're seeing a line of a batch of showers around the Springfield Holyoke, stretching down to Central Connecticut, and stretching down the eastern Long Island Sound. Here, we're seeing some spatty patches of sleet and ice pellets west of Amherst. But check that, and we're seeing one heavy band of rain showers around Pine Meadow, around Plymouth, Connecticut, and stretching down for Hartford, down from Manchester, and down from Windham, Connecticut, and seeing another line of heavy showers around Middletown, stretching down to Wallingford, around Brooklyn, around North Brentford, and Lilly Found out in Connecticut. And seeing some spotty snow and sleet showers around Laconia and Concord, Hampshire, and stretching down around Central Maine. Some spotty snow showers in the north central portions of Maine, down to the eastern portions of Maine. And you know why the Buffalo area is congested? Because of the sleet and ice around the Buffalo area, and seeing some snow and sleet showers from east of Utica, stretching out up to the Aratics and around southern Quebec, around the Montreal area, down for southern Quebec, and stretching the northeastern portion of Ontario from Ottawa down for Toronto and down for Ontario. And we're seeing some patchy rain showers east of Onion, stretching in west of Poughkeepsie, and stretching in the northeast of Allentown, down for west of Trenton, down for Philadelphia, and a lot of line of heavy bands of showers and storms east of Jamestown, stretching in the west central Pennsylvania, from Pittsburgh down for Harrisburg, and down for West Virginia. And seeing some little line of rain showers around westerly, stretching in Hopkinton, down around Rockville and Rhode Island, stretching around Block Island, seeing some rain showers on Block Island. And timing on where the showers are going to be headed here, they're going to make their way to the eastern Massachusetts area by about midnight to 1 a.m. and it's going to be staying throughout the morning, and it's going to be out of here by about 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 a.m., 12 p.m. This is the front that's going to bring the falling temperatures after seeing a mild morning to start up the morning. All right, 7-day forecast goes like this. Tonight, rain mid after 1 a.m. around 35 degrees. Southwest for about 6 to 10 miles gust out of 29 miles. That should take just 1%. New Pacific Mountain between 10 as possible. Wednesday, rain main before 10 a.m. Temperature rise around 51 degrees by 10 a.m. Then following around 39 during the remainder of the day. Stop for about 11 and 60 miles coming. West in the afternoon. Winds can cut size 38 miles an hour. Chest patient 1%. New Pacific Mountain between quarter definition possible. With that, most coast color about 19 degrees. Northwest about 8 to 13 miles cut size 34 miles an hour. Thursday, south sky about 35 degrees and northwest about 9 miles of cut size 21 miles an hour. Thursday, a chance of snow. May after 40, most clouds about 21 degrees and northwest, with about 5 to 7 miles coming light variable, chance patient 30%. Friday, chance of snow, clouds high about 33 degrees and chance patient 50%. Friday night, chance of snow before 11 p.m., most clouds about 22 degrees and chance patient 30%. Saturday, most of the podcast about 38, about 24 degrees. Sunday, parts of the podcast about 41, about 27 degrees. Monday, parts of the podcast about 47, about 33 degrees. And for Tuesday, most clouds about 54 degrees. Currently here in Mountaineer, it is 41 degrees, Brooklyn clouds. Humidity 67%. And that is going to be it for the Peter channel. 11 o'clock news, and it's late. Tuesday night. Peter, have a good night. See you tomorrow morning with more. Good night.